Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna, ma'am.
Hare Krishna. Can you hear me?
Hare Krishna, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Hare Krishna, ma'am.
Okay. Hare Krishna, everyone. So let's begin today's session, which is our third session. And today we'll try to complete two of the subject matters that Bhagavad Gita discusses. No? What are the 5 topics that Bhagavad Gita is discussing? Ishwar, Jeev, Prakriti, Kal, and Karma. So let's have a look at our slides, earlier slides. Just give me a moment. माझा हे केलं पण बघ, तू काढशील. भगवद्गीताचे कंटेंट होते ना, ते पण कळलं जरा. सॉरी, हे लक्षात ठेवायला पाहिजे होतं. आपलं Yeah, 1 minute. Yeah. Yeah. So these are the contents of Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita has got 18 chapters, 700 verses, 5 truths, 3 divisions, 16 themes, and 72 analogies. So out of that, we are not going to study the entire 18 chapters. Neither are we going to memorize the 700 verses right now. But we are just having an overview of these 5 truths. What are the 5 truths that we had discussed? This is in the next slide. So the 5 truths are, the first one is Krishna discussing is Ishwar, who God is. Last time we saw about Ishwar, who is God. He's a creator and how he creates, how his creation is perfect. All we saw, how we should have faith. Today we are going to, see the second topic, that is Jiva. And the fourth, the last topic, that is karma. Why we are taking this jiva and karma together? Because karma is connected to jiva. So we will try to combine them, club them. If time permits, we are going to do karma also. But let's see if we get enough time. So yeah, so let's begin again. Like last time we were seeing about Ishwar, and we saw how Krishna, how God is the supreme creator. He is the controller, how he creates, how Newton also explained to his atheistic friend, that God is the creator. Definitely there has to be some creator. So we saw that God is a creator. He is the controller. He controls everything, all the space, all the planets in the space. They are all controlled by God. And he's a maintainer. He's maintaining everything. Everything, the sun rises in its own time, sun sets in the right time, the sea and going in the proper duration and proper timings. So the God is also maintaining everything. We also saw the definition of Bhagwan that Parashar Muni explained. The definition of Bhagwan is one who has got six opulences. Now, which are the six opulences? God is all famous, God is all wealthy, God is all beautiful, God is all knowledgeable, God is all strong, and God is renunciate also. So we also saw that there are many people in this world we see. There are some beautiful people, there are some strong people, some wealthy people, some intelligent people, some strong people, but we won't find anyone in this world who has got all these qualities. So if you see, Krishna is very beautiful. Krishna is so strong that even while he was very small baby, he killed so many demons. That means he was very strong. Then he gave knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. He was very knowledgeable. Then he is very wealthy because he is Lakshmipati. He's called as Madhava. So Madhav means husband of Lakshmi Devi, and Lakshmi is the person who is giving wealth to everybody. And Krishna is very famous. We saw, whatever Krishna does, whether he steals the butter, whatever he does, he's very, very famous. He becomes very famous. Shirchor Gopinath, Ranchor Rai, Gopinath, then Devaki Nandan, Yashoda Nandan, Nanda Nandan, so many, whatever activities he does, he becomes famous by that name. And even after having all these opulences, he is renounced. He is not attached that, I have this, I am beautiful, I'm strong, nothing like that. So he's all renunciate. So Vyasadev, in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Gita is a discussion between Arjuna and Krishna. So when Arjuna and Krishna were discussing, this live telecast was spoken by Sanjay to Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra was a king who was blind, and Sanjay narrated all this discussion between Krishna and Arjuna to Dhritarashtra. And while this discussion was going on, live telecast was going on, Vyasdev also noted down whatever was happening. He wrote everything down. And what Vyasdev is explaining, what Vyasdev mentions, or what Vyasdev denotes Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Whenever Krishna is speaking something, Vyasdev says Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. He's saying Krishna is Bhagavan. Vyasdev is saying that Krishna is Bhagavan. That means Bhagavan means he is full of six opulences. He is the creator, maintainer, and controller of the creation. So he is God. So now it is established that Krishna is God, and that God is speaking this Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Now, who is Arjuna and who are all of us? So last time we also saw that Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I am the seed-giving father of everyone. I am the father of every living entity. So we are jivas. Jivas means living entities.
Hello.
All those, living
Hello,
entities,
ma'am.
they are living in the world. Yes.
Hello.
Yes. I think you can mute yourself, and if you have any questions, we can take it at the end. Okay? Please mute yourself. Yeah. Please don't interrupt, otherwise, the flow gets interrupted also. So we all are jivas. Jivas means living entities. Now we have studied in science, there are so many living entities.
Hello.
So we have
Hello.
seen also. Hare Krishna, can you please listen quietly? Please. Thank you. Now it's time for you to listen. So don't do any hello business, okay? Please listen carefully. I'm going to ask questions at the end. And will be given chance also to ask questions. So don't interrupt now. Right? Yeah. Now we are talking about jivas. Jivas means every living entities. In science, we have studied. There are so many living entities. But you know what Bhagavad Gita says? How many living entities are there? There are 84 84 lakh species. That means there are 84 lakh varieties of species or living entities in this world. So all of these, all living entities are called as jivas. It's not only human beings that are called jivas. Every living entity, like the animals, the birds, the bees, reptiles, these all are called as jivas. So today we are going to see who the jivas are and what is their connection to God, and what is their action. How does their action or their act, whatever they are doing, whatever work they are doing, how does it affect their life in future, that we are going to see. So yeah, coming back to jivas, see, as Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, that he is the father of everyone. That means we all are children of God, right? Who are we? We all are sons or children of God. So as children of God, God is eternal. God is Sat, Chit and Anand. Means God is Sat, means he is knowledgeable, then he is blissful, Sat, Chit and Anand. And then he is eternal. Eternal means he will always remain eternal. He's immortal. He never dies. He never takes birth or he never dies. And he is knowledgeable. Krishna is all knowledgeable. And Ananda, he is always blissful. He is always very happy. So this is how our father is. God is like this. So if Krishna is saying that he is the father and we are his children, that means the son or children are like father only. So are we like father, like children? Are we same like father? So yes, the living entity, the jiva, is also Sat, Chit and Anand. We are also eternal. We are also eternal. We are immortal. We keep living, we are eternal. We are also knowledgeable. And that because we are always, that is why we are very curious. Because the soul is all knowledgeable and eternal, he feels, the soul feels that I should never die. This body should never die. And because he is knowledgeable, he is always curious. What is this? He wants to know more and more things. And because he is Ananda, he is blissful. He always wants to be happy in this world. So God is also Satchidananda and living entity. The Jiva is also Sat Chit Anand. But there is one difference, one small difference, but it makes a big difference. How? We are equal to God in quality, but not in quantity. For example, have you seen an ocean? There is a vast ocean. And an ocean, if you see ocean water, how the ocean water is, how does it taste? You all are mute, but I am just telling it on your behalf that the ocean water is salty, right? It is blue in color, it is salty. So it has that properties. So if the entire ocean, if you take the entire ocean will be salty, and if you take a drop of ocean water, that also is going to be salty. So the properties of one drop of ocean water and the entire ocean water are same in quality, but it is different in quantity. If, for example, you go to go for a vacation to Goa, and if you fill that ocean water, the sea water, in a small water bottle, so you will see that the properties of the ocean, the sea, is the same, as well as the bottled water. That property is also same. The quality of water is same, but the quantity is different. The bottled water will be some 200 ml, 500 ml, depending on the size of the bottle. But the ocean water body will be vast. So similarly, God is also Satchidanand, and we are also Satchidanand. Living entity, the Jiva is also Satchidanand. But we are equal in quality, but in quantity, we are small. We are Anu. Anu means we are very small. And Lord is Vibhu. Lord is great. Like we said, now God is all powerful. We are powerful. Little power we also have. But God is most powerful. Some people are beautiful, and God is most beautiful. So God has all the qualities, in a great quantity, and we are in a minute quantity. Just for example, also a father and his small son. they also, the son also will be looking same like the father. The son will want to ride, the father is riding a car, the son also wants to imitate, riding a small car, toy car. But the son is doing everything in a small scale. The son will also try to make a castle around a beach. He'll say, see, Papa, I've built a big bungalow for all of us. And the father will build a big bungalow for them to live. Yes. So father and the son, small child is also doing the same activities, but he's just doing it playfully and he's doing in a small variation. Whereas the father is doing it in a huge this thing, and that similarly the living entity does all his activities in a minuscule manner, and Lord does it in a very huge scale. So the God is also creator, and even we create, right? We have created some science journal, we create some science model, we are also creating some things. But God's creation is very vast, and our creation is very small. Our father creates a small house for us, mother will create some cooking, kitchen and everything. So we are, all the living entities are also creating something, but in a very small scale. So that is why we are also Sachidanand, God is also Sachidanand, but we are in a small quantity and God is in a huge quantity. The quality is same. Okay. Now going further, like we saw, the jivas are in 84 lakh species. Jivas are 84 lakhs. So we only know few, dogs and cats and this and that. But this living entity. Now we are going to see how the jiva is. See, a jiva has got a body. We see there are so many bodies of this jiva. So how the jiva's body is? The body is made up of 5 elements. We know now: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. So body is made up of earth, water, fire, and air and ether. And what happens to the body? Because these elements are material, they are perishable. After some time, the body gets old and it gets worn out. And then what happens? Because the body gets old, just like the clothes, after wearing it for 3-4 years, the clothes become old. So what we do, we take new clothes and give aside the old clothes, the torn clothes, we just give it away or throw it away and wear new clothes. Similarly, the body also gets old, and after some time, after getting old, the body has to be changed. The body takes, the soul takes another body because no longer that body is usable. So that is why he has to take another body. So now, what about the soul? We are seated in this body, just like, car. We are buying a car. We use the car for 10 years, 15 years, but after some time, the car also gets worn out, and then we have to throw that car and buy another car. So similarly, this body is like clothes or like the vehicle, like the car, which after getting old has to be given up, has to be thrown out, and we have to take up new bodies. So how do we take new bodies? According to our karmas, according to our activities. So now, before going to the karma section, we will first have, see how the soul is. We are saying that, body will be perishable. How much ever you try, how much ever the scientists may say that, one day we will make some medicine wherein, the body will never die, will keep the body as it is, will preserve it, and will put life in the body again. But that is not possible because the body is perishable. It cannot be kept alive for a long time. But what about the soul? Krishna is saying the soul will never die. The body will never live eternally, but the soul will never die. The soul is eternal. And we are actually not these bodies. We are the soul. This soul, our soul is living within our body. See, for example, now if I ask you, we will unmute Anirudh Sharma. Okay, I'll ask you some question, Anirudh. You are ready? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So, Anirudh, if I ask you, show me your eyes.
Ma'am, this is are my eyes.
Yes. Show me your teeth, tongue, your hands, your book. Yes. Your pen, your body. Yeah. Yeah. Your body. See, now you are saying this is your body, your pen, your eyes. And where are you?
Ma'am, in my room.
No, no. Yeah. Now you said this is your body, right? This is what you are showing is your body. Now, if I am saying this is my body, that means I am saying this is my body. So who is that I? So that I is seated inside the body, and that is the soul. And the soul is saying that this is my body, this is my eyes, this is my. So we normally, when there is some death in someone's house, and if you go for some funeral, we say, for example, just giving an example, Mr. Kulkarni has died. If you say Mr. Kulkarni has died and we are going for his last rites. So when we go to their house, we see that his body is there. So nobody says that Mr. Kulkarni is lying down. What we say? His body, his Mr. Kulkarni's body is lying down. That means what? Lying down. That means Mr. Kulkarni, the soul within that body has gone, and only body is lying down. So that means our body and soul are different.
Yes,
Just
ma'am.
like we are seated in the car. No, we are not the car. We are seated in the car. We are not this body. We are seated in this body. Okay. So Jiva means, a living entity, the soul, which is seated in different bodies. And bodies are how many? 84 lakh species. So I hope this much is clear to everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let's go ahead. Okay. So we'll again mute Anirudh. So now Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, the soul, actually Arjuna did not want to fight because, his grandfather, his guru, his uncle, his brothers, cousin brothers, they're all in this war and he didn't want to kill them. So that is why he said that I don't want to fight. So Krishna was telling him, Arjuna, don't worry, only the bodies, they are actually not these bodies. They're just seated. They are seated in their bodies, but actually they are not the bodies. So they are not going to die anyway. They are souls and souls are going to be eternal. So Krishna is saying the soul, Nainam Chindanti Shastrani, the soul can never be killed by any weapon. The Nainam Dahati Pavaka. It cannot be burned by fire, It cannot be moistened by water. It cannot be withered by wind. So, if you see if you have read Mahabharat or if you have seen Mahabharat on television, you will notice that Arjuna had many weapons. Today we have nuclear weapons, they are only fire weapons, but Arjuna had water weapons, he had fire weapons, he had wind weapon, uh, uh, Varunastra, so all the rains would fall, and Vayu Astra, all the wind would blow away all the soldiers. Astra, fire would burn all the soldiers. So he had many weapons, and that is why Krishna is saying, you have all these weapons, but Arjuna, these weapons, your fire weapon, your water weapon, your wind weapon is not going to kill their souls because their souls cannot be dried by wind or drowned by water, burned by fire or cut by any weapon. So don't worry, they are eternal souls and they will not be killed. That is what Krishna said. And then he said, then Arjuna thought, okay, they will not be killed. Then what is after this bodies? The bodies will be finished. But what will happen then? Krishna said, they will take another body. I know, as if your rath breaks in this yudh, what will happen? You will sit on another rath. So if after this body gets perished, they'll take another body. So Krishna says, Dehinosmin yatha dehe komaram yovanam jara. So just like, even in this life, if you see, all of you, maybe you all are of a 10 to 12 age, perhaps, at that, you fall between that age group. But if you see your photographs, you all were very small babies, and then you all became toddlers, and then you all started going to play group, nursery, then you all went to primary school, isn't it? but your body is kept on changing. So as per science, after every 7 years, the body is completely new. All the cells of the body, they are, completely changed. They are all new cells after 7 years. So if you are 7 years, you have a new body already. If you are 14 years, two times your body has changed and it's a newer body. So even within this body, in this life, we are changing bodies each day, each after 7 years. So after death, what happens? We become very old and just the body doesn't function. If you have seen old people, very old people, they cannot even get up on their own, cannot eat on their own. So what is the use of that body? So what does God do? They are, this body gets perished and they get another body. Now we understood that they are the soul is keeping on changing bodies. Just like, for example, we are having a marathon running. Have you ever taken part in marathon race? So marathon, yeah, so marathon is a running, just to run for 10 kilometers or 15 kilometers. So for example, if you have a marathon running for 15 kilometers, and after every kilometers, there are some Rotary Club or Lions Club. What they do after every 1 kilometer, they give you a T-shirt of their own logo. So after 1 kilometer, you are wearing Lions Club T-shirt. After second kilometer, you are wearing Rotary Club. After third kilometer, you are wearing ISKCON's T-shirt. So in that 15-kilometer run, you are changed 15 T-shirts. So just like, this 84 lakh species, they are just like changing clothes. And this is just a marathon run. You're just going from one life to another, changing bodies after bodies. Now, there is a story of reincarnation, which will prove that even if you change the body, the soul remains the same. If you have read this VEC booklet, how many of you read the VEC booklet? Raise your hands. I can see you raising hands at least. Yeah. So if you see, there is a story of James, small child whose name is James Leninger, and how he remembered his past life. At this James Leninger, he was very fond of, taking the toy planes, and he was just playing. And suddenly one day he started remembering his last life. Last life he was a, fighter. Fighter. He used to what he was a fighter plane pilot, and he had taken part in some war. So he remembered everything, how, there was a war going on, how he killed, who was his partner, and his house, and he had a sister, and everything he remembered. And then he told everything to his parents, and they found out that yes, such and such person was there few years ago. And then they called the sister, which he said, I had a sister. That sister was very old now. They called her, and he told each and every detail about the brother and sister that happened between them. So although the sister was, around 80, 90-year-old, he behaved with her as if she was she was his sister. So from that we understand the body of James has changed, but the soul has remained same, and that is why the likings also. He was uh, flying a fighter plane, and now in this new body also he was fond of the planes only. So whatever activities we do in last life, that is also that is also carried forward in this life. And there is also a story in the scriptures. There was one king called Bharat Maharaj. So Bharat Maharaj was a very great king. But what happened? After some time, he thought that I should go to the jungle and devote my life to do bhakti of God. So he went in forest and he built a small kutia and he started living over there. And after some time, what? He saw a deer, a helpless deer whose mother died immediately after giving birth to that small baby deer. So he just took care of that deer and all that. And then he got very attached to the deer. So, because he was so attached to that deer, while dying, he was thinking of the deer. And because he was thinking of the deer at the time of death, what happened? He took another birth in the body of a deer. So whatever you think at the time of death, you carry on that thoughts also in your next life. So he became a deer. So in the deer body, he understood, oh, I was Bharat Maharaj. I had given up all my kingdom and I came here in the forest to do Lord's bhakti. But I got attached to the deer and I have become a deer now. So as a deer, what he did, he went near the temple and used to listen to the stories or katha which would go, sadhus would narrate near the temple, kirtan which sadhus would sing near the temple. And then in the deer body also he died. And then he took another body of a brahmana called Jad Bharat. And in that Jad Bharat life also he remembered the life of Bharat Maharaj, life of the deer. So what we can understand from this, that Bharat Maharaj changed two bodies of the king, of the deer. Now he is in a life of Jad Bharat, but he remembered everything. That means the person within the bodies was same. That is why he could remember all that had happened in different bodies also. The person was the same. See, today today Mrinal is wearing this light pink or peach kind of t-shirt. If tomorrow on Friday it's class, if she wears purple t-shirt, can I say that this is not Mrinal? Come on, Mrinal is only pink. She cannot be purple. No, she has just changed her t-shirt. So we only keep changing our bodies. The soul remains the same. That is what Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita very vividly. Since this is only overview, we are not going in detail. But when we go into detailed classes, we'll be explaining all this at much greater length. So the soul's activities continue. Just we saw, na, Bharat Maharaj, he continued his activities. He was doing the activities of a devotee. So in the deer body also, he became a devotee deer. He went near the temple and started listening to the. He could not do kirtan, but he started listening and hearing to the katha. And then he got another body of Jad Bharat. So the activities of the soul carry forward. Just like if you, I don't know, you are very small, but if somebody has a bank account, and if you have, the year has ended. If during December, 31st December, if you had 10,000 rupees in your bank and you spend for New Year party, if you have spent 9,000, so in the month of January, how much will be carried forward? 1,000 will be carried forward. 1,000 will still remain in your account. 9,000 is spent. So similarly, whatever activities we want to do in this life, if they are not completed, what will happen? You will continue in your next life, just like the James. That boy James, he remembered that he was a fighter plane. And he was also fond of the planes in this life also. Now, if we are jivas, how do we check, how do we understand what kind of you will say that, yes, I want to be a human being only. Next life, I don't want to be a tiger. I don't want to be a dog. I don't want to be an animal. So what determines our body? That will be our next question. Why do we have to take such lower species? Why do we have to take such bodies? So just like, I was explaining, Bharat Maharaj, while he was dying, he thought of the deer, and because at the time of death, he was thinking of the deer, he took the body of a deer. Similarly, people who are, fond of eating flesh or, animal food, non-vegetarian food, then they will be given suitable bodies because they are so fond of eating flesh and uh, non-veg that they are given bodies that way. They will get a body of a tiger or a lion, carnivorous animals who uh, who like to kill the animals and eat the flesh. So according to their desires in this life, they will get the bodies in next life. So in this life, you are preparing to have your next life. So our bodies, what we are getting is according to our activities. Now we are coming to our second topic, that is called as karma, our activities. Now we are saying now, according to our activities, if our activity of eating is that of eating non-vegetarian food, of eating flesh of animals, then we'll get a body wherein you can kill the other living entities and eat. So we are preparing for our next body according to our actions, and that is called as karma. So let us come to our next topic called karma. So what is karma? Does anybody know what is karma? So like, whatever activities we are doing, all of you are doing some karma, right? Any activities that we do, any actions that we perform is called as karma. Now, what karma you all are doing? You all are listening. What karma am I doing? I am speaking, isn't it? So this is, each and every action is also called as karma. But our karmas will define our next life, our next body. So how should we perform? What karma should we perform so that we do not get any ghastly body, or we do not get any, we should get a good body of human being so that we can do wonderful things, wonderful activities. So let us see karmas are of three categories. First is karma, that are pious activities. Third is akarma, they are divine activities. And second is vikarma, they are prohibited activities. So karma, akarma, vikarma, and akarma. What are those three? Karma, vikarma, and akarma. Now, I will simply tell you what is karma. So Krishna will tell in Bhagavad Gita, if we go, when we study it in detail, Krishna tells in the third chapter, in the second chapter only he begins a little bit, that, if a living entity has to be happy, he has to perform some yajna. And that by that yajna, he'll be happy. Yajna means your activities. So Krishna is saying you have to perform yajna to Vishnu or to demigods by which you can be happy. So karma is some activity. Now, what is your karma? You all are students. So your karma is studies. Your students. Studying well is your karma, right? So that is karma. But how to do that karma? So if you are studying, if you are studying in a mood that I want to be a topper, I want to be happy, I want to feel myself very proud, and that is why I'm studying nicely. So that is called as karma. Karma, when you're doing it for your own self, for your own benefit, for your own pleasure, that is called as karma. So at that karma will give you good or bad result. If you are doing your activities of studying nicely, then you will get good marks, that is good result. If you are not doing studying so well, then you will get bad result, that is bad karma. So karmas will produce good or bad results, good or bad fruits. So now what is vikarma? Now we understood karma. Now what is vikarma? Karma means what? Doing any activities, doing our activity, doing our actions for our own self pleasure, that is called karma. Now vikarma means activities or actions that are done against what God has told us. See, God is giving us in the scriptures, in the Vedas, in the Bhagavad Gita, God is telling us what actions we should do and what we should not do. So God has said that we should not do vikarma. Vikarma means actions which God has prohibited. God says in Bhagavad Gita what to eat. Patram, pushpam, phalam, toyam, yome bhaktya prayashit. He is saying patra means leafy vegetables, all the leaves you can eat. Then pushpam, flowers, phalam, all the fruits and vegetables. That is what we can have. But if you are doing something prohibited, if you are eating meat, drinking wine, this is all prohibited. It is not allowed. But nevertheless, there are some people who will indulge in that, and that is why that is called as vikarma. See what is there in their food. There in their plates there are dead bodies of a hen, dead bodies of a sheep or a goat. So this is called as vikarma. Prohibited actions is called vikarma. Now what is akarma? So we will look at akarma later, but let me tell you one thing, karma and vikarma. So if we see in Mahabharata, even Duryodhana is fighting and even Arjuna is fighting. Both are going to kill, isn't it? But when Arjuna is going to kill, he is doing it because Krishna is telling him to kill, because Krishna is telling him to do. And that is why whatever Arjuna is doing is for the pleasure of Krishna. And that is why Arjuna's activity is not karma. It is akarma. When you are doing our activity as a devotion to God, it becomes akarma. And when Duryodhana is doing the activity, when he wants to kill, doesn't want to kill because he wants to please Krishna. He wants to please himself. He wants to kill everybody. He wants to see everybody dead. He wants to see Pandavas unhappy. And that is why whatever Duryodhana is doing is karma. He is doing it for his own satisfaction, for himself. And Arjuna is doing it for the Lord, as a devotion to Lord, as an offering to God. And that is called as a karma. So everybody eats food. We all eat food. But when we offer the food to God as a nevedya to the Lord, when we show the food as a nevedya to the Lord, that food becomes prasad. And when you eat that food, we do not get any sinful reactions. Now I will tell you about sinful reactions. So when you do any activity, suppose, one might say that we are not eating any non-veg, we are eating vegetarian food. So why should we suffer? But even the plants, they have life, isn't it? Even they are living entities. Just now only we saw that 84 lakh species are there. And in that, even the plants have come. So we are eating vegetarian diet. That means even they are also killed. So what we have to do then? So in every activity, that when you boil the water, there are so many bacteria in the water which die. When you light the fire, there are so many bacteria that they die. So that means so many sinful activities we are doing at every step. When we are breathing, there are so many viruses that are going inside and they are killed inside our body. So many living entities are killed unknowingly, which we cannot see. So every minute we are doing some sinful reactions, and we get the reactions to that sins that we have committed knowingly or unknowingly. So the reactions to the sins are like the seeds. So if you see seeds, if you sow the seed in the soil, what happens? After some time, after a few days, it germinates, right? But if you take those seeds and if you roast them and then sow the seed into the soil, what will happen? They will not germinate. So if you do a karma, same activity of studying, if you are doing it for yourself, same activity for eating, if you are before eating, if you offer it to God, that activity will become divine. That activity will become a karma, and you will not get any sinful reaction after doing the same activity. When you're doing it for God, it becomes a karma. It becomes purified karma. But when you're doing it for yourself, it becomes polluted and it has got some sinful reaction. And what vikarma is? Sinful activities. It is killing, stealing. That is all called as vikarma. So, what we are doing ordinarily, our parents will go to the jobs and they will earn a salary. They will earn money. But what a person who is doing vikarma will do? See, this person is going to office and is earning a salary, is getting a check at the end of the month. Is doing karma. But if he's using that salary only for himself, not giving a little bit to Lord first, then he is just doing karma. But if he is offering some of it as a part of that salary, part of it as a gratitude to the Lord, then that will be a karma. But a person who is not, indulging in robbery and theft, who is looting a bank, is, stealing others' money, that is called as weak karma. God has told that, work, legally, in a lawful manner, you earn the money and use it for yourself. But, if you are unlawfully stealing somebody's money, killing somebody, then that is called as weak karma. So I hope you understood what is karma, what is vikarma, and what is akarma. Everybody understood? Raise your hands. All those who have understood karma, vikarma, and akarma. Everybody understood? Yes, this is karma. They are eating food. We may say that, oh, they are eating vegetarian food, so they will not get any bad reactions. But this is all vegetables which are cut. So many bacteria would have died because they have not offered this food to God. So this is still karma. But the same food, if it is offered to God, you see these two guys, the two sadhus, they have offered their food first to God and then they're eating. So whatever sinful reaction while making the food would have happened by harming the plants and all, they have got nullified because they first offered it to the Lord. And that is why that has become a karma. And vikarma is very easy for you to understand. Unlawful activities are called as vikarma, right? Understood, everyone? Karma, karma, vikarma. Yes. So for us to be happy and not get any sinful reaction, we should perform a karma. That means the same activity. We don't have to change any activity. You are students, you have to study only. You don't have to change your from students, you don't have to do something else. You have to remain a student only. But now while studying, you have to say, you have to think, or you have to understand that I'm going to study so well that after the results come, I'm going to offer that result to God and show him that how well I have studied to please him, to make him happy. So that activity of your studies as a student will become a karma, will become divine. It will not no longer remain an ordinary activity. It will become a karma and you will not get any sinful reaction. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Karmanye vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. How should one perform their karmas? Krishna is saying, you have right to perform your prescribed duty. So everybody, all of you students have right to perform your studies. You are right to go to school, right to education. Government is saying right to education. Children should have the right for education. They have to go to school, they have to study, and all the necessary things, required things are made available by the government also. So you have right to perform your duty of studies. But you have to understand while studying, you don't have to be stressful. Oh, what will happen? I'm studying, but if you take stress of what will be my result, I should get 99%. If you don't get 90, if I don't get 99%, then I'll not be happy. So if you just keep some target and and if you study like this, then you will not be able to focus on your studies. You will be fidgeting and you will be finicky and you will not be able to focus properly. And all the focus will be shifted because of that stress. So you have to understand that you have the right to study. What is in your hand is to study. What will happen, that is not in your hand. There are some things as luck also. See, whole year you can study very well, but during the exams you may get sick. You may get dengue, you may get malaria, and you will get high fever. And because of fever, your writing ability is just slowed down. You couldn't write very well, and that's why instead of 90, although you know everything, instead of 95 you got 90%. So what I'm trying to say is, you can try your best, but don't be attached to the result. Just do your duty. Do what is in your hand is to study. What is not in your hand is the result, because there are certain situations which are not in your hand. You might, your tire might get punctured, you might reach late during the exams, you may fall sick, you know your your pen might get this thing, you will not get another pen, or whatever, something beyond you can happen. So you should not be attached to the fruits of your action. That is what Krishna is saying. Then he's saying, don't consider yourself the cause of the result of your activities. Means sometimes we think that you are doing the studies. When you are getting a first rank, you think, oh, I have done this hard work. But there are so many other things that are uh, added to your results also, added to your success. Your parents are there, which are your coaches, who have guided you very well, and your environment within your house. So there are so many activities or so many considerations that affect your actions. And third is, do not be attached to not doing your activity. Sometimes, we get continuously, we are getting failures. We want 90%, 95%, but we are getting 90, we are getting 92, we are getting 93. Then we get fed up. Enough here. How much ever I study, as it is, I'm not going to get above 90. So why should I study? Let me study a little bit only. I get, anyway, I get 90. No, we should not be attached to inaction. We have to do our best. So we have to continue doing our best. So we have to keep continue doing our activities. So now if you want to be happy, what you have to do? So now we have understood that God is the Father and the Jivas, are God's sons or children. So to be happy, for the son to be happy, what he has to do? He has to be with his father. See what happens if the son leaves the father and goes. The father is very rich. Suppose Ambani. Just example. I'm just saying. Dhirubhai Ambani had two children. Who are they? You all of you know. If two children, Dhirubhai Ambani is so rich, was so rich. If they thought, we can also be a successful businessman. Let me leave this business empire and go and start my own business. But your father is so rich. Just continue doing his business. So simply, what they had to do, just be there and align to their father, and they can be happy. They'll get everything, all the wealth, all the companies, all the riches, all the home, whatever luxuries and all that. So we saw God is our Father, and is full of six opulences. He is all beautiful. He has got all wealth. God is very strong. He is powerful. He is famous. So if we want to be like the Father, we are Jivas. We are their children. We are His children. If we want to be like the Father, then we have to be aligned to our Father, aligned to God. Whatever God has said in the scriptures in Bhagavad Gita, we have to lead our life according to His instructions, according to His teachings. Then we can be happy. And what are His teachings? We have to perform a karma, do our activities, do our actions as devotion to God, as worship to God. That is what is the meaning of that verse called Karmanye Vadikaraste. So I think we have already, so I'll just give you an example how we have to be aligned. So it is said in the scriptures, Jivera Swarupo hai Krishnera Nityadas. We are Jivas, living entities, are children of God. And as children, we have to serve God. We have to please our, what happens when a father gives you pocket money? He has so much money, but every month he gives you some pocket money. And when your father's birthday, what will you do? From your piggy bank, from your savings, you will buy some wallet for him, and he's so happy, isn't it? So everything is given by us to God, given by God to us. So what we do? We just give something to him in return as a token of gratitude. So when you show such gratitude, the Lord is pleased. So we have to be aligned to God. We have to please God means what? Just like, if you are very hungry, if you are feeling very weak because you have not eaten for the whole day. So what you have to do? You have to take the food and put it in your stomach. That's what the stomach will do. Stomach will digest the food and make the entire body very rejuvenated. All the weakness is gone because now your body is revitalized because the food has gone into the stomach and the body has become rejuvenated. Similarly, the plants. See, this lady, she eating fruits and the food is gone in the stomach and it is getting digested, and now she will get. She was feeling very weak, but now she'll get very rejuvenated. Similarly, the tree. If somebody wants to nourish the plant, what he has to do? Water the roots of the plant, and the entire tree will be happy. Similarly, God is like a tree or like that food in the stomach. If you please God, we all automatically will be happy, because we are part of God. So, the legs and the hands are part of the body. But what the legs or hands have to do? The legs have to go to the kitchen and get the plate. The hands have to pick up the food and put it in the stomach. Then what will happen? Your body will be healthy. You will get nourishment. Similarly, if you want to be happy, you have to please God. And you have to be aligned to God so that you don't get any sinful reaction. So yes, this was what we had to say today. So in just just to summarize, the jivas are all living entities, and there are how many varieties? There are 84 lakh species of jivas, and jivas are what? They are souls. We are not these bodies actually. The body is made up of material elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. But soul is Satchidanand. God is also Satchidanand. We are also Satchidanand. God is huge in quantity. In quality, we, the living entity, and God are same. But in quantity, we are just like the drop of water. Okay. And then we saw the karmas. So the jivas, while they are in this material world, while they are in this living in this world, whatever activities the jivas do, that will give him, that will determine his next body. That will give him, as a reward, he will get next body. Just like Bharat Maharaj got the body of a deer. We saw the story of James also, of reincarnation. So the soul keeps changing the body, but the person remains the same. We saw in the case of James also and Maharaj Bharat also. So I hope everybody has understood. Does anybody have any question? I'll take 2 minutes for questions. We can unmute everyone. Yeah. So one by one. Last time I think last time Anirudh had asked questions. So now I'll take other people. Okay. Devendra. Devendra, you can ask your question.
Ma'am, I didn't understand Sat. I want to ask from beginning, but I didn't get chance to ask.
Okay. Sat is Sat, Chit, and Anand. So you understood other two? You are saying?
Yes, ma'am.
So you tell me other two.
Yes.
See, Sat means eternal. Eternal. They never die. The soul is eternal. Sat means eternal, immortal. He will be living all throughout. There is never any birth or death. Sat means eternal. Okay? Eternally go on
Okay.
living. That is called as Sat. Chit means knowledgeable. It's always knowledgeable. See, even when you are sleeping, you have that knowledge. As soon as the mosquito bites you, even in the sleep, you will turn and your hand will go to that place where the mosquito is there, isn't it? That means even in sleep you are knowledgeable, you are cognizant that something is biting me. So the soul is all knowledgeable. Why? The body was sleeping, but the soul was awake, and it could bear the pain, and it immediately told the hands to kill that mosquito. So we are always in knowledge. We are Sat, eternal. We are in knowledge, and we always want to be happy. That is Anand. Sat Chit Anand. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Next, I can see Kavish Bhide.
Ma'am, I have a doubt. In the example you have given that the man has given a salary to the another man and he is taking by himself. So it is karma. But if that man is giving to his family members and children, so what it is called?
See, for himself means for his family. His family is also himself only, na? He's earning for himself. What he's getting from his family, he's getting happiness from the family. He will give it to the family. Family is together. So that is family means himself only. But if you are using that money, little bit of that amount of money to be used for the Lord's as a donation to the temple, to feed the poor, to feed, a prasadam in the temple, that is called as akarma.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. One more last question we will take. Divya.
Ma'am, I don't understand akarma.
Yeah, very simple. I just told difference between karma and akarma. When you are studying for yourself, for your own pleasure, I want to be a topper, then that is called as karma. When you are studying so that I can please God, I can please Krishna by my studies, then that becomes a karma. So simply shifting from our enjoyment to Krishna's enjoyment becomes a karma. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we are running out of time, but definitely our last session will keep more time for more question answers. Okay. So thank you very much for all of your active participation. See you next Friday for the next session. Hare Krishna. Bye. Good night, everyone.
Hare Krishna.